It is my great pleasure to announce the cast of Power Rangers Ninja Storm. We have two. Come on up, guys. What are you waiting for? That's your cue. This is going to be real intimate because I don't know where any of the others are.
Wouldn't we have thought like Dustin would be the one that was late, but instead it's Blake and the two Katrinas. So, you know, there's something new every time we come to PMC, isn't there? How's everyone doing? All right, man. You guys rock. I must admit, like, I'm not sure how many of you heard my story yesterday about jet lag, but the energy you gave us yesterday, it was like I was running on con fumes all because of you guys. So I appreciate that and respect, and this is why we come out.
Yeah.
You guys rock.
Right. Yeah, thank you, everyone. Here they are.
Finally.
This is exciting.
Spread it out like
I just
Vegemite.
love the sound of your voice on these things.
We wish we were keeping that last seat for a surprise visit from Sally or Jason, but
we're not.
alas.
I must admit.
We tried really hard to get them here, but hey, we did pretty well getting the five of us, and it's great to be here, getting the band back together.
It really, really is.
So I guess we'll just kind of kick things off with a real softball question. I mean, you guys were the first crew to be in New Zealand, to be and how big was that? Like it's a huge thing for not only the franchise, but I mean also to have this long-running series come to New Zealand. What was that like for you guys?
You start.
Any order.
I'm going to start.
I'm always talking too much.
I'm starting. It's me.
Oh God, you should have seen that stare.
We're all scared of her.
And they just, whenever I say anything, they're all like, no. I think so Kat and I were in New Zealand, obviously, and we've been working in the industry for quite some time. Long time. On various shows. And so I think I don't think we quite realized what we were walking into. It didn't play on Kiwi television. It was actually banned.
Because all the kids were doing all the moves at school.
And some kids broke his arm and they banned it. So we didn't actually quite realize what the magnitude and what the whole franchise was about. So we kind of walked into it really blindly. Didn't we? Did you have a clue?
I watched Mighty Morphin Power Rangers when I was little.
Did you?
Me too. Come home from school.
I love that.
In New Zealand?
Yeah. Before it was banned.
Before it was banned.
It was actually probably my fault it was banned. I was trying out some moves.
But it was, so we didn't quite realize how huge it was going to be, but that quickly became very, very, very apparent. And just a wonderful opportunities for Kiwi actors and Kiwi crew to join into this world. And then these other guys came from overseas.
Not that far overseas. I mean, Australia's
You weren't
pretty
so
close
far
to New
away.
Zealand, but
You just
it's
swam.
sort of like a sister-brother connection. But I must admit, when we first got the roles, I knew what Power Rangers was. I was a massive Ninja Turtle fan as a kid, so Michelangelo all the way. But the
yellow. Yeah, the yellow.
I must admit, getting into it, I knew what we were coming into, and I have a twin brother, and we used to kick flip around the TV room with the pillows on the floor and do our martial arts. So for me, it was exciting. But for us, there was no social media. So to meet you guys at Power Morphicon in 2018 was the first time I really felt the fandom, and that's what makes this show. That's what really makes it. It's you guys out there. So now that I finally met you, and it was epic shooting it, but to feel the fans, that's the big side of it for us. Always.
Always.
So kind of piggybacking on what you just mentioned about how, you really felt that fan love at Power Morphicon, and that's when it was like, oh, this is a thing that's happening.
Yeah, it was like 17 years later.
Yeah. For the rest of you, like, when was that moment for you? When did you realize, like, oh, this is so much bigger than I thought it was?
For me, it was crazy. I was in Brazil in about 2015 or 16. I finished doing a show in Australia, And I was back in Brazil and a guy who I think a lot of people might know, sort of Adriano. He books a lot of the actors to go out to the Brazilians and nodding, going, yeah, Adriano. He got in touch with me through social media and he's like, hey man, so I've just found out that you're in Brazil and you're Brazilian. And he's like, do you know how massive the Power Rangers fandom is here? And I didn't really know. And he organized a few conventions for me around in Brazil. And I went to some of these events and like these guys will know they're massive, huge. And in Brazil, there's a lot of poverty and there's a lot of people who are sort of in situations that I don't see day to day. And the first time I did one of these conventions and there were probably 5,000 people at one of these things. That's when for me it really hit that Power Rangers so many years on was still so important to a lot of people. And I had so many people, Brazilians coming up to me and saying, like, you have no idea how important Power Rangers was in my upbringing. For a lot of people saying, I was in a difficult situation or, a difficult phase of my life, and Power Rangers helped get me through that. I think all of us, we've done work outside of Power Rangers, but when we hear things like that, not just as actors, but as human beings, that's really meaningful for us to know that something that we've been part of has really had an impact on so many people.
Absolutely.
And it's great for us. I'm sure, it's special for you guys to be here. It's very special for us too.
Oh yeah, you guys rock. And you got a day and a half left. Is it a day and a half? Yeah, this is awesome. Yeah.
So one of my questions would be, you get your scripts, you're reading through and you're looking through. How do you find that character? How do you take what's written on the page and say, okay, I know that this is how this person is supposed to act. This is how this person's mindset is. How do you kind of tap into that?
Well, for me, there was a line that Blake says when you first meet us in the Thunder Strangers, where he goes, "He's dark and brooding. He's right, but dark and brooding." That was my note, dark and brooding. So I just went with that.
I think you start off a certain way because obviously you get a character breakdown of what they've kind of decided that how you should play your character. But along the way, as you're working, I think it develops more. Like for Katrina and I, we kind of played off each other. And originally that we were just villains, but I think we added a lot of comedy to our villainess. And that was more just us working off each other and being able to
hilarious.
ad-lib.
Thank you.
So it really just kind of develops along the way, and then you really find the character, I think.
Kat and I ended up ad-libbing so much of what you saw was off the cuff, what was happening in the moment, and it was panty wetting stuff the whole time, right? We not in a bad kind of way, not in a good way, whichever way you want to take that. But
Power Rangers panel after dark.
This is an after dark one. I'm just scanning the room for children. I didn't mean it in that kind
there
of way.
There were a lot of takes, is what I think what she's trying to say.
Just don't take the mic off me. We just made stuff up on the fly, is what I meant, and it was funny. We were laughing. Okay, I went too far with the panty.
No, you weren't wrong.
I get that. I get it.
Isn't that what we're here for, though?
I've
Something
heard it
different?
now. I've heard it, and I went too far with it. But yeah, I'm going to put the mic down.
And I think for Dustin as well, like Katrina was saying, there's a lot of Adam was saying, sorry, there's a lot of clues like dark and brooding, and for Dustin, if Power Rangers were real, Dustin would be the
Doofus?
airhead comic book guy. And it's like, airhead comic book guy, cool dude, all right. And there's your cue, and you just roll with it.
You slip into that so easily, by the way. That's
He did slip
very
in.
impressive.
He slipped in there real easy. I would say doofus.
That
not
accent is
airhead.
fake. That accent is fake. That's his real voice, by the way, that he just did there.
This is my real accent. I'm from Brazil.
The thing is, he's not a doofus at all in real life either.
So, speaking on then, affecting these accents, how hard was it to make sure you stayed in the right accent? How often did you slip and, say a word and be like, oh, that was the wrong
Poor
accent?
constantly.
Swords Bay. Sword Bay.
We had an accent coach there. Yeah. We had an accent coach there. He was around for the first sort of month to give us training, and then in the first sort of month of filming to make sure that just pull us up whenever we slipped up. But yeah, I think in Australia or in New Zealand, we grow up listening to a lot of American films, and I was really into Ben Folds 5, and that's how I sort of train my American accent. But we hear it all the time.
Yeah,
Sure, I think it's a lot easier for kids these days. I was off the back of 40 episodes of Herc and Xena and Young Herc, so that was always in a Herc and Xena and Young Hercules. Also, I kissed Ryan Gosling just out of it. I'm gonna drop the mic and leave. I should go now, right? That's all I've got. I actually really did. Sorry, guys. Someone else said something.
I went to drama school beforehand, but getting into drama school, it was all American accents anyway, because that's where you're going to get your work. So I had my accent down. My American accent, I can slip into it anytime you want. Because it's a staple of being an actor. If you're going to get a job, you're going to get an American accent. More often than not. But yeah, no, from Australia, we did classes, all sorts of different accents. But you always had to have your American accent at the ready.
I think the first week we were shooting, it was pretty funny how you listen to the Aussies and the Kiwis trying to pronounce power, but it would come out like power, power, ranger. So it was like the first you're like, yeah, Power Ranger. You're like, it was pretty cute to hear that for the first little bit.
So, I mean, this is a staple question we get at every Ranger panel, and I also need to know, what were some of the best pranks you guys pulled on each other while you were filming?
Pua would say the camera's there and there was filming. Pua would be off camera to the right, flashing us his cute little butt cheeks, trying to crack up anybody, and then he would run to the other side and do it again, and there'd be like a prop or something sticking out of the side. And then his butt would just slowly come creeping out, and then his face would come out smiling, and then like one of us would lose the take, and they were using film, so you only get one or two of those.
Yeah, we were filming on film.
Yeah, it became, and there was this thing called a slab. The Kiwis, if you made noise, if you blew,
that's a case of beer.
If you laughed, if you blew a take, you'd be like slab, which would mean you have to buy a slab of beer for the crew at the end of the weekend. It does get expensive, and when you figure that out, you start actually blowing shots for people trying to, because the beer fund's going to be full come Friday.
I'm not sure if you guys know this game though as well, where you put that and you got to get it below your knee, and if someone looks at it, you got to punch them in the arm. Well, the lighting guys used to go, "Hey Adam, how's your mark?" And they'd be doing this down there, and I'd look down and they'd go, bang. So they'd do that. But some of the funniest ones were the stunt doubles, because there wasn't a lot of, they're obviously all Japanese, majority of them that did the amazing stunts. They couldn't speak a lot of English, so there'd be just sight gags. I mean, there was one time when we were talking to him and he just upended himself into a sulo bin. He just jumped straight up and dived straight into a sulo bin while we were sitting there having a conversation. I was just like, what was that?
Oh man, that's great. So gosh, I'm trying to think of other questions that would be great for you guys to answer that are unique. Okay, let's talk crossover.
Oh, yeah.
Because one of my favorite crossovers of all time, the Thunderstorm crossover.
Okay, so talking about the Dino Thunder Ninja Storm crossover. Okay, that's a moment that was like my fan kid, like my moment. So back on that camera thing, when we were using film, we have and his marks that he was talking about, they put marks on the ground. Simple shot. The whole team, we all have to run up to the line, right? Run up and do it. We have our marks. We're ready to go. And action. We all run up. JDF is right here, right where Adam is. I'm over my shoulder. So when I come running up, I do the stance. Okay, let's try that again. Jorge, eyes straight, please. Look like you're a Power
drooling,
Ranger,
looking
please.
at
And,
Jason.
All right, action. I couldn't have. I think it was like 2-3 takes. Finally, they're like, Jorge, stop looking. Just look straight. But that was the moment. I
remember shooting that scene as well, and there's a bit where we're all running together. So Jorge and I are running with JDF. Glenn, you were running with who were you?
Probably by myself.
but you could see we were all trying to race each other.
Yeah.
Everyone was trying to run as fast as you could, but keep it all in frame. And we were running with him, and you could tell each one was trying to run as fast as they could. And you're not supposed to do that when you're filming. You're supposed to do the film run. But we were like, oh, I can run faster than you. But that was cool. I mean, like, to shoot that and to come back and meet those guys, and they had such a great series as well with what they did with Dino Thunder. So to come back and do reunion episodes, it was exciting stuff to work with him as well, and the rest of the crew that did such a great job with that series.
I mean, I have memories of sitting eating Lucky Charms, watching him, right? Just like all of you,
Lucky
guys,
Charms.
being a fan, and so like being able to be part of it years later, it's amazing.
But I remember with the crossover as well, because like I said, we were the first season shooting in New Zealand, and like we really felt like, well, that was our thing. Like this is our show. And then when we did the crossover, and like there were these new kids on the block, and I was like, get out of here, you bastards!
I wasn't new. I was still there.
With the new Rangers, with the Dino Thunder Rangers, and I was like, you bastards, get out of here! Like this is our
So then
turf.
it was easy to channel that into your evil brainwash.
Into the
performance.
hatred was real.
I must admit, I was talking to Jack Guzman last night, and the fact that we didn't get to do the Wild Force crossover as well, and I was saying to him, we would have been together, man. We would have been fighting together, and that was missing. I mean, I would have loved to have. I did like the Wild Force series itself, so that would have been a nice crossover. But we got the Dino Thunder one in there.
So that, speaking of the hatred for the new kids on the block, which is more fun, playing good or playing bad?
Playing evil.
Bad, for
It's,
sure.
Yeah, bad.
the baddies are the bestest.
Baddies are
by
always
far.
fun.
How come?
Sorry, sweet.
No, I agree. Like growing up, in and still like in films and in shows that I watch, I love a good baddie. Like I love there's an actor, Michael Wincott, who was the baddie in The Crow, and he's just got this awesome voice. Dustin Hoffman as Hook. Ray Fine as Voldemort and Harry Potter. You can do such great stuff with a good baddie. And we all got a shot at doing it because the girls are obviously the baddies, and then we had our baddie moments.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Yeah, I want to ask a question though of you guys. Why is it always that when we're evil Rangers, we're heaps strong, and then when we become good, we're weak again? What the? I was like, we're taking it to them, and then all of a sudden we're good, and we lose all our powers. Yep, right. So it's a level up thing, is it? Like, well, they got stronger as a team. Now we got to level up the bosses. Gotcha. Yeah.
So you guys also got to film a lot of helmetless scenes and be in the suits a lot. How did that, I can only imagine how body-fitting spandex feels. I would never, ever wear it myself for obvious reasons. But what was that experience like, getting to actually suit up and have the helmet and the visor, have it open so everyone's like, oh, these are actually the actors in the suits. These aren't the stunt guys this time.
I remember wardrobe people brought the clothes in and putting it on, and you actually have a moment when you slide the gloves on, start putting on each layer. For me, the ninja form was because it was just so well
the ninja
made.
suits.
Yeah,
the ninja suits were the business.
But when you put on the helmet, though, that's like you almost physically start buzzing. The first time you do it, you actually, I did take a photo. I don't know if any of you've seen it, but it's like we did take a group photo too, but nobody knows. It's the first time we're in the suit, so nobody knows how to stand. So like one of us is like this. Kind of like, is this right? And you could tell nobody knows what they're doing.
I hope you've seen the photo, because in the background, Glenn, as soon as he got into his spandex, he was jumping all over the place, doing like head high kicks, and he was loving it. I mean, that's 4 layers of spandex or whatever it was in there, and some of the days it was pretty warm.
I was just jumping around a lot because I was trying to get rid of my wedgie. Like, the first layer of that spandex, I'd have to draw you a diagram for you to understand properly, but it's not comfortable.
We had to wear a thong under that as well. So what do you guys call it, a G-string? Or yeah, it was.
And you're
it was
going
not
to use
pleasant.
lots of olive oil to get into it, like a shoehorn and a spatula to try to get out.
Has anyone got a shoehorn?
And then, the ladies, you had unique costumes too. I mean, your headpiece.
Oh my
was
goodness,
massive.
like
my
roadkill.
headpiece was horrendous. Like I had to wear that for hours and hours, and it was so heavy. I got a migraine like every single day, but they would let me take it off. She just got to wear like
No,
pretty
mine
pink
was
hair.
okay. Mine was heavy, but yours looked like roadkill. It looked
I
like
did.
costume.
I
didn't know what
kind
to
of
do, and
looked
they
like
just-
Mickey Mouse on acid or something.
yeah.
But we all had our outfits, but the real credit and the hardest job went to the Japanese stunties. Those guys were phenomenal, wearing the big monster outfits and doing what they do in them. Like those
Oh,
guys.
yeah,
One day,
amazing.
do you guys remember when Matoko? No, someone broke their foot.
Yeah, she did a backflip and she had 5-inch heels. Like the heels were not even 5. Like I remember we did it and she did it. We had the mat and her heels were this high, no joke. And we could see when she landed on the mat, it rolled a bit. And then because we worked so fast, they just pulled the mat away and then shoot. And I remember looking at the way her foot landed. And I said it. I go, her ankle's gonna roll. Boom! It hit and it broke. And I felt so bad
there was
because
a broken
I
jaw
said
too,
it. I said it so loud that I was like, when you feel like you wailed it. So she couldn't do any more of the stunts, and then or be in a costume of Sally's costume.
Yeah,
so,
and then Hiroshi took over.
yeah, and Kazu had to be
His stunt double took over, and he's in the Sally's.
Yeah.
So if you notice, I don't know what episode it'll be around, but like Tori in Ranger form was Matoko, like a like small, slim little Japanese woman, and then like halfway through the episode, it'll be short, stocky, strong little Hiroshi.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, they were breaking bones. I remember times we would do a sequence, and you get so into character or you get so excited, and there'll be multiple hits that afterwards you come back and you're like, did I hit you? I hit you, didn't you? Yes. Yeah. Oh, so sorry. Oh no, it's okay. It's okay. And it was like hard kicks and hard hits. They were really taking punches.
I remember one time actually Pua dislocated. It was the funniest van ride back ever because he dislocated his shoulder halfway through a fight scene, and he was on the green whistle on the way back, and just some of the stuff he was saying is like his arm was out of place, but he's going, "Hey guys, look at me! I'm the crazy man in the van," But they actually got it on camera when it dislocated. The actual shot itself, and but he'd had problems with his shoulder. Yeah. Mm.
I remember even morphing once towards the end of the shoot. He went, "Okay, morph, ninja storm." Oh, my shoulder's out. Oh. Someone had to come in and put his shoulder back in. Poor dude.
So it sounds like you guys had a pretty good camaraderie with the stunt team.
Yeah, definitely.
The question I would piggyback off that is, when did it start to feel like the camaraderie between you all really that's when everything clicked?
I don't like these guys, so
Yeah. Well,
I'm
that's
waiting
obvious.
for that to come. No, this thing is my spirit animal.
Aw,
So we
thanks,
clicked
Ian.
within about 12
2
seconds. Yeah. So that was it.
What is that spirit animal, by
Well,
the way?
I don't know.
I'm interested.
What would your animal be?
My animal.
Yeah.
Oh, a monkey.
She's my spirit monkey. So we clicked like super quick. But you guys were all hanging out in the metropolis.
Yeah.
I think we all were all roomies at one point or the other.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
Well, the funny thing is, like Jason Chan and I, we did 3 years of drama school before we even got the roles on Power Rangers. So we were basically in each other's pockets for 3 years studying acting. And then Glenn I knew from Adelaide, so that's our hometown in Australia. I'd actually been to his sister's New Year's Eve party the year before we got cast in the actual show, and met his mum and his dad and everything before I even met him. I saw him in a play that he did at the end of school. So Adelaide is like really small town south of Sydney in Australia. And so we knew each other before we even got the roles as well, or knew of each other. Everyone was telling me how great he was. And then I knew Jason, but then Jorge and I got to hang out for 3 weeks before we started shooting. So we were drinking and having a good time before we even started shooting.
Waters. They were
Water.
kids.
Cups of tea.
Orange juices.
Um,
vitamins, right? We were
green
working
tea.
out. We were being very
it's
happy.
really good for the. But no, he and I connected like that, so you can see it translate on. Well, this is me saying it. I can't speak for him, but
So boring.
But I think we all did. We had a really good camaraderie. We had heaps of fun. Most of us some of us came from out of town, so where when you're out of towners and you're all sort of thrown into that environment together, you just gel, you become family. And we worked long hours, we were like 4:30, 5 a.m. till 6 p.m. and then most of us lived in the same hotel. So yeah, you become like family.
And it also wasn't just the cast members. We got on really well with the crew as well.
Yeah, the crews were awesome.
We were all hanging out. Yeah.
So most of the crews were also at the time, they were all shooting Lord of the Rings. So we had lots of good things to talk about on set because at one point the guy that was doing my stunts, the Kiwi guy, was doing all Legolas's stunts as well. So I was asking him all the stuff. He was doing all the running over the mountains and stuff. So all day I was just picking his brain on what was going on with all that sort of stuff. So, but the crews were incredible. So you can actually see it in the way that it was shot. The way ours is shot is quite different. It's a little bit more gritty and a little bit more film-like, and that's why I enjoyed watching the series afterwards and seeing how well the crews came together, and they were all amazing. I mean, the games, like I said, that they played with the lighting guys, it was all over. Everyone just got along just so well. So yeah, it was just a fun time, really good time.
So another really cool thing about filming in New Zealand is, man, the scenery is just so beautiful in that season. You see these sweeping hills, these beachside. Was there a favorite location?
Yeah, I got one straight up because Jorge and I did it. I'm not sure if you remember the fantasy episode where we go to visit Grandma. Yeah, and there are trees there, right? And they were growing. These branches were growing in perfect loops. And I've gone, these trees have to have been placed by you guys, but they weren't because they had their own magnetic field. And obviously New Zealand is. A lot of it's largely made by magma, so it's all got a magnetic field to it. So these trees would grow, their branches would grow in loops, but they were this thick in perfect loops. And it was a full forest of them. And we're down there just filming in this fantasy scene. And I was just going, this is crazy, Some of the places we saw were absolutely incredible. The beaches like Piha, where the piano was filmed.
Yeah, Piha, that beach, we had to do a stunt coordinator. I told this story earlier, but where they wanted to see how well we could ride the motorcycles. So he draws a line in the sand. He's like, okay, I want you to do a figure 8 and come back and stop right here on the line and see how you break. I'm like, okay, bang, start it up.
Jorge goes off into the distance.
Yeah, something took me over. Like New Zealand is a very spiritual place. So I mean, if you're by the water, it takes you over. Yeah, and I don't know what came over me, but all of a sudden my hand just wouldn't stop revving, and I just took off, and my speed matched. Yeah,
that's literally what he was doing. He was going, "Where's Jorge gone?"
I matched the speed of the waves to the point where it was just like this perfect kind of movement. I realized I'm like screaming, like salt water's crying out of my eyes, and I'm like, ah! Finally, I come back, and he's just so mad. Don't you ever do that again? But I know why you did it.
I remember another moment we had at Piha. We were shooting at Piha Beach, and then there was these two guys surfing, and they sort of started walking up, and then I was looking, I was like, man, that looks like Ben Harper. Yeah. And then we're like, yeah, man, that's Ben Harper. And then he came up and he's like, whoa, you guys filming Power Rangers? And we're like, whoa, you Ben Harper. And he's like, whoa, is this Power Rangers? Ben Harper. Yeah. And we had this moment.
But do you remember Ben had just come out of
Jack
the water?
Johnson as well?
And Jack Johnson.
Jack
One
Johnson.
of them throws, I think it was Ben. He grabs his board and throws it on the ground. And we're all sitting there like, Ben Harper is mad. Like he doesn't seem like the type to lose it. And there he was like, oh, I can't get away.
All right, so let's talk some bases. The ninjas had a really cool dojo base. The villains had a really interesting spaceship base. What were some of your favorite, maybe hidden parts of your bases that maybe the cameras didn't get to pick up?
I think that Ninja Ops was cool as... obviously, we never saw the waterfall because that was all sort of CGI'd afterwards. But just coming in and doing... We'd congregate in there, and that's where we'd be sitting for 10 hours a day, and we just look around at what they created with that Ninja Ops. And I'm not sure if you see much of the doors. They used to slide up and stuff. People would be pulling them, and they'd slide up, and that's where we'd go in. I'm not sure if you saw us walking to the Zords much. I mean, there was one moment where you see Jason walking to the Dragon Zord, and that was the only time you really see the actual panel come up. But when
what about into the Zord Bay?
The Zord Bay!
Zord Bay. That's a personal
That's
joke.
how Pooh used to say,
explain.
oh, the Zord Bay, bro!
Yeah, that was a lot of fun to be in. Like, when those shots that would have us in the Zord, like we're driving it. I think my first shot for me. That was really exciting, climbing in because I knew I was going to be in that shot. And
We're in our civvies.
yeah, you're like, hitting buttons and touching stuff, and you're like, you got to kind of move like you're moving around. And like, you feel silly at first, but it's like you're in the zone.
Yeah. Storm Chargers was pretty cool as well, with all the X Games stuff. And look, I think that for us, we had a really good sort of side story with the X Games side of things, and the motocross and the surfing and the skateboarding.
What about was it Lothor's chair? Lothor's
Oh,
seat?
yeah, the
That
chair.
Yeah,
where
that
we
has
we
kinda
got to
Lord
go in
Drinking,
there a lot. Me and
feels
you.
to it.
Yeah. What about you girls? Did you girls have a little space anywhere in
There was no
Lothor's?
dodgy
What did you
spaces.
just sit at the
What
foot
did
of
you say?
Lothor's
I said
throne?
there was no secret dodgy spaces in ours.
No.
You got to see all the spaces. There was no, just the chair was the coolest. The throne,
The chair was
right?
the only thing in the room.
Yeah,
let's be
it was
honest.
really.
It was
There
the
wasn't
only
really
thing
a
in the
lot
room,
in
so-
space. We were in space. There wasn't a lot there.
So here's an interesting one I know a lot of fans like to ask at panels like these. If you could have the power of any other ranger, what power do you think you would like to have?
I liked Sally's water thing.
Walking on water?
Yeah, I kind of like the
Water,
water.
yeah.
I would.
What about
probably
from other
trade up with the water.
series?
But I wonder, like water and thunder, right? Isn't there something wrong with that kind of
Yeah,
mixing?
that's,
right. I don't like it.
although
Probably wouldn't turn out too well. for us.
Electricity and water don't mix
right?
that well.
Yeah. Like somebody should have got shook
Yeah.
at one point, right? Like,
Yeah.
right? You think like maybe was that the chemistry between
That maybe perhaps.
Blake and Tori?
I think as a villain, I don't even want to answer that question. I didn't want any Power Rangers stupid powers.
Oh.
Gross.
Them's fighting words.
Ugh.
The shade.
So there'll be an MMA cage fight between Capri and the Thunder Rangers out the back. I don't know. Like, I really loved how we had a ninja streak. So I think in Time Force they had the power to sort of reverse time and stuff like that. I wouldn't mind a little bit of that. I think at one point one of them. Am I right? I don't know. I'm trying to think of some of the cool other powers, but yeah. Look, I must admit I did love our little ninja streak. Is there any fans that have any questions? We got one down here. What was the favourite scene to film? Well, I've had this question quite a lot, and look, my favourite scene was a scene that Pua and I got to film down on the beach early morning. It's the start of Boxing Bopperoo, where we're in our civvies and we're doing a plainclothes fight in our ninja suits, barefoot on the beach. You know, we rocked up at 6 o'clock in the morning, the two of us. We choreographed it with the stunt doubles, and then we got to work and we shot it. And, you know, we had a beautiful morning down there. It was just a beautiful, secluded part of the beach in the ninja suits, which whenever I got into the ninja suit, I'm like, you can leave me in this all day and I'll have a good time.
Sounds very romantic.
Doesn't it sound
Just
romantic? We did
Secluded
have a good
and
time.
romantic. We're in our tight suits.
But that was awesome, you know, like was it? Oh well, you know, that was that little fight scene. But a lot of this, like the scene that I did, the first morph with Jorge, that was pretty inspiring and memorable.
For me, it was since I was a kid, and I used to love the film Hook because I've already mentioned it. But the food fight scene in Hook, like with Rufio,
Yeah.
and where they're imagining the food, I was like, man, how great would a food fight be? And so I can't remember the name of the episode. Someone here may know, but where we've got the food fight.
I love Lothor.
Was it?
Was that right? Woohoo!
And we had one take, you know, so all the art department and they were like, okay, guys, so there's all this stuff. You've got one take and just go nuts. Don't hit the camera with any food, but the rest is on. And it was just so much fun. You're just having a
I ended up with
massive food
I
fight.
ended up with a bowl on my head full of whipped cream.
And
It was
the best
from
thing
you
is-
actually. There's a video of him going, yeah.
Yeah, I think everybody was preloaded, and if you kind of look at the shot a couple seconds before, people are already winding up to like, and they're targeting certain people. You could tell, like they're like.
And it's fun because at the end of it, you don't have to clean up. You just go, nope, I'm out of here.
Adam improvised a really great moment where he's just kind of screaming like he's died in there. I
Oh,
thought
that's
it was,
right.
I
That's
loved
after
it.
he puts this big, bowl of whipped cream all over my head. But no, that was a great scene.
So I think we're going to start opening up fan questions. If you guys want to come form a line this way, for our lovely, lovely panel. Please do remember to keep these questions on topic about the show, the cast. Please keep our questions in good taste. Thank you very much. Make it easy on me if you could. I'd appreciate it. All right, so here we go. First fan question.
Hello there. My name is Lucas Hahn. I've been a huge fan of Power Rangers.
You're a legend, Lucas.
Nice to see you guys. So it was a great honor to be here, and I think this is my second time to be here in Pasadena, and I've been there probably 2 or 3 times. So it was really great. So Glenn, you've been to the movie called Hook, right? So what's it about? What was it like when you used to work with Robin Williams, who played Peter Pan in the movie Hook?
Me?
Yeah.
Oh, I wasn't in Hook.
He's just a big
He
fan.
just loves
What
Hook.
happens when you mention it so many
I wish.
times?
I wish. Oh, what
Glenn?
a dream. Yeah.
I see. So, you used to do the dirt biking with Adam and Dorito in Ninja Storm, right?
Yeah.
So cool. But when you do the dirt biking, was it more doing outdoors, or you do it on the green screen?
With some of these questions, we have to be careful how much of the dream we
we-
explode, we shatter, because
No
the
stunt
truth
doubles.
of
We
it-
did everything ourselves.
We'll give you the truth. The truth. The truth was, they did some training with us, like on the beach, like Jorge was saying. But through the filming, we actually couldn't ride. It wasn't us riding the motorbikes. It's too dangerous for us to go and break our leg and not be able to film for 6 weeks. So I don't think they even let us sit on the motorbikes with the engine running.
Nah, the engines were off, but we made out. We were going.
And we're just doing these ones on the back of a
You
trailer.
guys are so badass.
All right, awesome. All right, let's bring on our next guest. Thank you so much.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Thanks, Lucas.
All right. I know it's a bit weird taking orders from a guinea pig, but if you could choose another animal to have been led by, which one would you choose?
Salamander. No, do you know what's funny about that you say that? Because, the guinea pig was obviously never on set because he was a diva. It was just like a little box, a straw box, like a box made of straws. I'll get it out. And we had to look at it. And then in that scene that I was telling you, that fight scene where he flips off and kicks us both in the chest and to separate us. Yeah, that was fun because he's going, all right, he's kicking you in the chest now he's kicking you in the chest. And we'd be like, oh. But he wasn't really on set that day, so it was fun. It was fun acting towards him. But now for me, if it was anything, I think maybe a koala bear.
Obviously. That's an obvious one, Adam.
I'd go for a sloth.
Sloth.
Sloth. Where do we have to go? I need you to find.
Who?
Maybe like a raccoon or something.
Yeah, raccoon
Just
be good.
it'd just be weird. Not that a guinea pig's not weird. It's
Yeah,
really
yeah, no.
weird enough.
It's a rodent.
Cool.
Legend.
All right, next question.
Hey, beautiful.
Hello, how are you?
I'm doing good.
For the ladies, I have a question. So it would be, if you could choose a villain, specifically a lady villain from Power Rangers, their outfit, what outfit would you choose and why?
Is it?
Ooh, interesting.
Yeah. I'm not going to choose yours.
No one's going to pick mine.
Over the head. I don't
So
want that.
maybe-
There's absolutely
I would
not
pick yours. I really liked
Did
your
you
pink
like
hair.
it? You like my pink hair?
Not so sure about the spandex, but I like the pink
Yeah,
hair.
spandex wasn't pretty.
Now pick me.
I don't want to pick you because of what you were wearing on your head. It was gross.
I know.
Which one was that when you guys did the 60s television?
Oh, that was a cool outfit.
That
Yeah.
outfit.
I love that outfit.
Astronomer was
But
pretty
another character.
good. Astronomer had a cool outfit.
Who does Amy play? Amy, yeah. Drakina, she's cool, but she's a goddamn smoking hot fox. So she's I
So
wanna pick
that's
her.
why you want to pick
So
that
maybe
one, right?
that'd be it. Thank you.
All right, next up.
All right. So when the Rangers are like battered and bruised, nothing's going right, there's no hope, everything is lost. I know it takes a lot, within an actor or actress to like bring that emotion out. Is there something that you guys like think of to like get to that place, like maybe a relative or
What a great question. And like as actors, I mean, that's sort of what we do with any script that comes our way. It's all about how you find it. And for me, I use something called practical aesthetics, which is you think of a time where, say, you were exhausted or you're upset, and you remember how that made you feel, and you try and recreate that. I mean, as an actor, I mean, you've already sort of got that in you. I mean, we go into acting because we're pretty emotional bunch, so it comes and it flows through fairly well. Some of us, anyway. And so for me, practical aesthetics, which is just recreating a feeling that you remember as that you've been through that would sort of get you in that right area, and you try and think about it a bit. Maybe listen to a piece of music that upsets you or exhausts you, like "Killing in the Name of" by Rage Against the Machine. I go, oh God, all right, I've been battling all day, I'm done. But yeah, that sort of stuff for me anyway.
I'll take 50% life experience and then 25% somebody I know, and then another 25% just make up my own.
See what comes.
I took my general exhaustion from filming on set and waking up at 4 a.m. and went with that. Where I really had to draw a lot of energy from was when we had to be upbeat. That's when it was like, whew, let's get on with it again and go, 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 go.
You know what's something funny is when my first ADR, I'm coming in after Glenn, and he's doing the whole thing that Hugh Jackman was doing as the Wolverine. So he's taking his jacket off and he's in there going, so we're watching the screen and we're watching the fight scenes and we're trying to do the noises. So he's actually in there doing that, and I'm watching him going, yeah, I can do that. But that was sort of how he got there. He's literally doing the kick flips and stuff they're doing on the screen while he's while he's recording the ADR, which is the audio dub we do afterwards. So that's another thing we got to do. Is, you got to get that sort of feel whilst you're in a studio on something where these stunt doubles are doing these incredible stunts. So that was quite fun, and to get that energy is another sort of same as your question.
Thank you so much. All right, next.
Hi guys,
What's up,
I'm
man?
Anthony. First of all, thank you for keeping Ninja School after all these years.
Hey.
We really appreciate that. So, aside from crossovers, what would you say was your favorite episode to film and why?
In crossovers?
It's
Excluding
aside
crossovers.
from
Aside from
crossovers.
Or for me, it was probably our first, when Jorge and I first, no, actually when we kidnap Sensei and we're walking through that and we fight the ghosts in that forest before going to the cave where the Gem of Souls is.
It's a good moment.
That's that scene there where we're fighting those ghosts. That was pretty awesome episode to film, where we're the bad guys on the run with their sensei. That was good.
Mine would be tricking this guy into believing me. That I think that's pretty good. And I also got to be a Power Ranger for a moment in time.
She really cut to the core of me, didn't she?
She cut me deep.
If it's any consultation, like we fooled too, Glenn.
Right? Right. I was really good.
Anyone else?
For me, I guess it would be the popcorn episode where we're blowing that one up. And also because it allowed the stunt team to kind of really let loose and unwind, because they all dressed up as like 70s kung fu like movie stars, and they were like in their element. Because they were very professional all the time, but that one day of filming, I just remember it was like different. It was kind of like
we were out there, weren't we, watching them?
It was everything they loved, but it still was part of Power Rangers, but it was this other.
Yeah, I'm not sure if you guys know, but in that we actually, the films we were watching, they created from scratch. All the stunt doubles created those kung fu movies we were watching. So one of them, which was Jason Chan's stunt double dressed up as Bruce Lee, and they created those from scratch. It was incredible to watch.
All right, thank you so much.
Legend.
All right, next up we have a fan with a low
This is a PAM. It's an MAP. Make a puppy.
Oh, we got a puppy on set. And that's so good.
That
well
was
done,
fun.
you.
That was a great episode.
Well, here's my question for the actress who played Mara. What was it like playing two different characters, one a Ninja Storm and one a Dino Thunder.
Oh, that was a lot of fun because obviously on Ninja Storm I was a bad guy, and then when I was Cassidy Cornell, then I was good. So it was nice that I got to play both, and then it was nice doing a bit of a crossover when I was playing both characters walking past each other and saying, "But I am so much prettier." No, I had a lot of fun on both seasons.
Awesome. Thank you so much for your question.
All right, my question's mainly for the guys, but girls, if you want to chime in, please, by all means do. If you guys could lead the ultimate Power Ranger team, and let me just make sure, and you could choose any Ranger from any show, what would your team be?
Okay, so I got asked this last night at the VIP party, so let's hope my jet lag's gone now. And yeah, it was you, wasn't it? So I'll go first. So I'll start off with Hector Jr., Green Samurai. He'll be a buddy on there. Justin Nemo, Chris Kamen Lee, Jason Faunt, and no. I can get away from these guys, can't I? I can choose other people from other series. Yeah. And do I need one more, or is it 4? And I'm the 5th. We need the 6th Ranger. 6th Ranger will be. Oh gosh, what did I say last night?
Oh wait, why don't you have any girls?
Yep. Yeah, wow. That was it. Pink Ranger.
Just
Aaron.
as well.
Thank you so much. Next up.
Hi guys.
Hi. It's great. How you doing, buddy?
It's great to see you. You guys rocked.
Yeah, you rock.
My question is tell us about your casting process of going through the show. I'm reading your characters and going through the casting process.
Yeah. Well, I remember when I went in, it was all more about the American accent. I remember doing a jump roundhouse kick, but after that I left. And then the guy that was reading, so you have a reader when you're in there, and it was at Fox Studios, and he's called me up and he's gone, "I'm sorry, buddy, to let you know." I let him know that you do impersonations. So they asked me to come back, and I had to do my Ace Ventura impersonation and my Christopher Walken impersonation. And then I think they made, Pua said that he had to do The Rock or something like that. So, that they made us do a couple of impersonations after we did the scenes.
Casting-wise, I actually auditioned for Sally's part. I auditioned for the Blue Ranger.
But you didn't get it.
But I
you?
didn't get it. That was his comeback for me being mean to him on the show. But yeah, they thought apparently I was pretty funny, and so they thought that they should put me in the role as Mara. I wasn't good enough to be a Ranger.
But hold on, didn't she not get more episodes though than you?
Yeah, it's true. It's true. Come mate, no, it was counting me. But apparently,
who's counting?
Apparently, Sally's tape was the very first audition tape that they put into the monitor. Like of all the thousands of auditions, Sally's tape was number 1. Boom, and they're like,
"Good start."
See, if I had been first, then I would have got it.
It's just your
Jeez.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much.
What do we want to hear?
What
How
your
my casting
audition like?
process was? Well, I wasn't asked to play Sally. I would have been great at that. No, I was one audition and then called into recall with this thing. And we did that scene, There Are No Penguins in the Arctic Circle. Can you remember
Yes,
that?
that's right. Did we actually end up doing that later on?
It was in the show.
Oh, was it?
Yeah. And far out. You
This
have
is
no
why I
idea
wasn't
what it was
cast
like
as the
working
Blue
with
Ranger.
her. Honestly. So yeah, and that was in front of Doug and the producers who'd come down, and I think they just really liked us because we're really likable. That's a low voice, it sounds like.
Awesome. All right. Well, thank you so much for
Thank
your
you
question.
very much.
Next up.
This one's for Kat, D, and Glenn. Do Dustin and Mara end up together?
On the show or outside of the show?
Dustin's now
Get that out
married
of
with
there.
a kid.
What do you reckon? Do you reckon Dustin and Mara ended up together? Obviously not.
Well, they've made didn't they do like a follow-up, like futuristic thing of Dustin's? No, it's a prequel. Who knows?
We'll leave it up to you guys
know.
to decide. What do you reckon? Yeah. Okay.
All right, next up.
Hey, I wanted to know if you guys kept any of the props or costumes from the show, and if you didn't, which one you wish you took.
Oh God, yeah, I tried to. I tried to take a helmet, and they came into my trailer and they said, "Where is it?" And I said, "What do you mean?" They said, "Where is it, Adam?" And I said, "Come on, you got 7 of them in there." And now they took it back, and I didn't get anything. But unfortunately, we left like straight afterwards. But I think some people did pick up. I think Jason picked up some stuff, maybe Jason Chan. Yeah.
Did
but
he? I
not-
thought we
not
weren't
many
allowed
of
to.
us.
And if Jason did that, he's in trouble because we weren't allowed
Yeah,
to.
no, we weren't
Katrina,
allowed to.
you took stuff.
What?
Disney-
I took
Disney-
stuff.
Because you had the
strict
hat
rules.
with you, and
know,
I was
but-
like, why don't I have mine?
I took some stuff.
Well, I did try to take the helmet, but then they took it back off me.
Yeah.
But I wish I'd kept my sword. That would have been great. Yeah.
Thank you.
Very
Thanks,
awesome.
man.
Thank you so much. All right, I think we have time for another question.
Eric, what's up, man?
Hello, I just want to thank all of you for being amazing and nice and enjoying all of you guys. Are really enjoying meeting you. My question's for Adam and Jorge. You guys are both red and blue. There was already red and blue. Would you guys wish you would have been a different color to have more diversity in colors?
I would like to maybe silver.
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember I answered this a while ago. Chrome would be pretty.
Chrome,
kinda
yeah,
cool,
yeah.
Chrome.
But like full on shiny, like.
But not a color, but also like I'm really loving this Death Ranger, like this whole like new the new Rangers that they're making.
Actually, I met the
Like, I would wanna
Inferno
be one of
Ranger
the
as
newer
well.
ones.
I'm not sure if anyone's met him, but it's sort of an amalgamation of us. And like a Black Ranger would have been good too.
All right, well, it is just about that time, and I know that it's kind of a tradition on one of these big team panels that I know everyone wants to see you guys do your morphs.
All right.
I want
This is
to-
not going to go well.
Slow down.
Let's see how those muscle memory reflexes are.
All right, we're going to slow this one down for Jorge.
Kat and I will stand up there and just watch. We're going to look really pretty on the side.
All right, everyone, get your cameras out. Wherever you want to do it.
Because I'm the red, I can start it, yeah? Is that right? It's all Ranger form. Yeah. It's all Ranger form. No. Ninja Storm, Thunderstorm, Ranger form, Hub. So we all go Ranger form, Hub. Okay. All right, you ready?
Ready. Ninja Storm.
Thunderstorm,
Ranger form. Ha!
Power Morphicon, give it up for the cast of Ninja Storm. I want to thank you all for coming to the panel. Thank you for your questions. And enjoy the rest of your weekend.
Thank you guys
Hey, if
so
you want
much.
to chat, come see us at the table. I want to chat all day.